cuba just assign apa-apa tagline untuk kami orang cakap. Sign dia cakap apa saya cakap apa.
Okay. So like maybe start with you. Don't forget to watch IIUM Brilliance every Friday at 9 p.m. That's it. Is it okay?
Okay.
Alright, okay. 3, 2, 1.
Assalamualaikum. Don't forget to watch IIUM Brilliance every Friday at 9 p.m. Thank you.
Okay. Do it again.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Don't forget to watch IIUM Brilliance every Friday at 9 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay.
No problem.
Aku juga.
Saya tanya orang masa no. Oh, clear. Yes, clear. Hello, Assalamualaikum. Is it clear? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Idayu and we are going live in 1 minute. Is it clear? Should I speak louder?
Boleh letak tempat lain tak?
Boleh.
Tak boleh sandar. Boleh? Kalau tak ada tak apa kot. Thank you.
Mic.
So kita punya suara di sini okey kan? Ni.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mic. How about the guest? Is it okay? Do we need to test the
Testing. Okay. Dah
Okay.
test ah. Ni
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Do you want to drink it?
last sip.
Assalamualaikum. Wait, tapi itu air pedang. Kejap. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Clear tak? Sekarang clear? Hafiza, you can hear as well when I speak. Is it? Oh, dekat situ clear lah. Is it the same? Because on lock, oh tak.
Dia just dengar daripada situ.
So, diorang akan dengar daripada the live, right?
Tapi kalau dalam ni bunyi lain juga.
Oh, okay.
Masa live. Macam tak ada siapa yang kira.
Yes. Oh, okay. We have to test the mic of the guest.
Okay.
Can you say something?
Assalamualaikum. My name is Abdul Rahim and I'm from Penang.
Oh, clear.
Hello. Okay. Oh, you're listening.
Guessing okay. I punya okay tak? Slow. Okay, jap. Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Yang sis pegang tu apa Timing apa tu?
Apa dia? Dia?
Itu timing apa tu
Timing untuk ni macam lagi berapa minit untuk start live.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sekarang I clear tak? Okay. That's good. Okay. Rahman, boleh kita test sikit?
Testing. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Okay.
Nak kenal dia mic dia ke tengah ke? Mungkin dah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you everyone for joining us. Welcome back to IIUM Brilliance, where we explore secrets to unlock potentials. Our very goal with this show is basically to dive into the minds, insights, and ingredients of IIUM's own high achievers in the fields of academic, intellectual, and education fields. But most importantly, we want to have guests on our show who have greatly contributed to the development of our society through their works. This week, I'm not sure if you're ready for it, because I'm not ready for it, because we are having IIUM International Arabic debaters who have been coaching secondary and university level students. And also recently they've gotten back freshly from a very far away place. But without further ado, please join me in welcoming Rahim Ellias and Rahman Ellias. Thank you so much for joining us, despite your busy schedule.
No problem.
And you have just gotten back from Qatar, representing Malaysia and IIUM at International University Debating Championship.
Yeah.
So how was it? Do you enjoy it?
It was great, of course, as always, and I think we learned a lot from that, and we got a lot from that actually, and I've still haven't moved on from that.
You're the third best overall speaker, right?
Yeah.
Do I get it right?
Yeah.
And Rahman also currently the chairperson of Islamic Revealed Knowledge Students Association, which people cannot ignore the fact that the both of you are and were in ISRA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're going to the fact that after this that they're also brothers. But let's jump into this. I have heard that before this, you train a lot, and you're training to an extent of staying up till Fajr.
Okay.
Wow.
And that's, I mean, that's intense. So my very first question, when you want to pour so much energy into something like that, why do you guys choose debating? Why debate at all? Yeah, you may start.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. First of all, thank you for inviting us to this very wonderful program, I would say. I can say, like I've told you, I can see the bright prospect of this program.
Oh, honor, yes.
Yeah. Alright. So moving on to the question, for me personally, I think debating is, frankly speaking, debating is not the goal of everything. Debating is not like everything, the highest purpose that we want to achieve in our life. Debating is, for me, is a way to achieve something. Is a mean for our goals. The goals are, for example, truth or knowledge or values. So debating is not that goal, but debating is an important tool to reach that goals. So to put everything on perspective, so let me just put it that way. So for me, I consider debating as a very important tool. And right now, especially if we see, there's not a lot of mediums, I would say, that has the importance or the significance that really debating has, because we have living, I would say, living evidence showing that debaters are really, if they are students, they are very good students, they are very bright students, they perform very well in their studies and in their co-curriculum. So I would say I spend a lot of time, for example, training students to debate, because of I realized that debating has its own importance to students, especially.
So
that's why
set of skills in debating that you particularly like.
Sorry?
There's set of skills in debating that you particularly think are very important.
Yep. For example, like analyzing informations and listening to others and presenting something. So this is some of the skills that allows you to reach your goals. For example, if you want to reach the truth, you will have to present your case, or you have to justify your case, or you have to even listen to others. So debating is not just, if we don't say like we are debating, so every moment we are debating with someone, debating means that you know when to debate and you know when not to debate.
So first building yourself first.
Yes.
And how about you, Rahim?
Actually, the same thing. But let me elaborate some more. Debating is actually forming a certain attitude towards life. For me, everyone knows Syed Sadin, right? Like during our previous edition of Qatar debates,
Yeah.
I was with him because he was also there.
Oh.
Yeah, because before going for politics, he was going to Qatar like every years for training. And we share some of the aspects of how debating changed our way of life. So for example, he shared that he like automatically and like 180-degree changes, he suddenly become encyclopedic. No, because at the starting point of debating, like you search for information, so you search for facts just for debating. But years after years, it has been your habit,
Yeah.
like following the current affairs and analyzing what is happening in your surrounding around the world, and trying to scrutinize everything that you hear or that you read from newspapers, from the YouTube channels that was recommended, from like politics or even religious speakers. So this has been a habit, and this habit would have not been formed inside me except through debating.
Through also particularly joining the club, is it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Do you have any particular habits, just particularly to improve your debating skills? Like you said about reading national news and international news. Maybe it's like waking up in the morning and reading Al Jazeera. I'm not sure. Do you have anything like that?
Like for me, of course, like I read news or I listen to news every day. Like Al Jazeera is my everyday thing, and also like even if I use Insta, like Sky News, Al Arabia and Al Jazeera, and so this news will kept filling my feed.
Yeah.
So like it's 50% pictures and 50% news for me in my Instagram feed.
How about you, Rahman? I think you've been backing off from social media quite a bit. Sorry, I mean it's just always So
No.
how is it for you?
The thing is, I barely use social media right now, but the only thing that I use social media for is to follow news, basically. So that's why you don't see me posting anything or tweeting something or posting anything on Instagram, because I mainly use social media to follow news, because basically it's easier for me to basically, for example, Berita Harian or Al Jazeera or TRT. So thanks to technological advancement, so it makes us easier to follow news and to get updated with all the things that happening around us. Basically the same medium like we used to get the news.
So you join debating for the set of skills that it provides, as well as shaping your attitude and analytical thinking, critical thinking, and also because all of us, I think most of us, spend a lot of time on the internet, and it's very important to also remind the youth and myself, I think, to follow news first, because that will be the very things that would come up on our phone. Yeah. So I think that is why we should join and consider. Yes, it's joining debating as well, and it's not just people like to see the part they win, but this is why we started with the question. We need to know why they do that. So do come back after the commercial break. We'll be right back soon. Welcome back to IIUM Brilliance, where we explore secrets to unlock potentials. And if, in case you have not noticed, and I wonder why the guests themselves don't ask this, that they are also siblings. So one of the questions that my classmates, my batchmates, and also the people who have been demanding us to invite of our guests today is that there must be a common element in the family that perhaps would make you guys join debating. I'm just saying, that's the theory. So we want to get the fact today from your mouths. What does it look like, or how does the environment back home in your family, how does it play an important role in family in your debating journey?
To be clear, like we are a sibling of 8,
Okay.
and plus my mom and dad is 10. Out of this 10, 7 were debaters. So my mom and dad were mom and dad were debaters back in College Islam,
Okay.
Kisas, and the first 3, my brother and my 2 sisters, were debaters, and the middle 3 was saved by Allah from debating, and the last 2, which is me and him, we continued this. So it's not something rare. So it is like, as some of our friends said, that like it's in the DNA. I'm not sure about that.
DNA is one, but also the environment. I mean,
yeah. So having said this fact, that leads to a certain environment in our family. Like we used to have discussions.
share with us some details of how does it look like 5 minutes of in the family. I'm not sure. How would I know? But something that would spark you to be a good debater. Perhaps in your childhood. I'm sure it doesn't start now.
Like you said, I mean, of course, generally, families have always been affecting how the child grows up. I mean, generally talking, regardless of whether it's debate or acting or what else. So, yeah, like you said, the way we were brought up, every little things that happen, all the events. I can't describe specific events that can portray the debating environment, but the cumulative of every events, like we were growing up in that kind of family, maybe directly or indirectly affects how our tendency toward debates is. So basically, I mean, like it's biologically, maybe it's somehow in the DNA, but also, of course, with the environment.
Yeah.
And also psychologically, when you are growing up in the, I don't know, debating family, so somehow you have to follow the flow. So maybe because I'm the last one in the family, so it starts with debate and it ends with debate. Yeah.
If you want some sort of detail.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I have a bit details. No, just kidding. Okay, go.
We have our group, WhatsApp group. Debate.
Apa eh?
Debaters or
Debaters.
debaters. So
For
in that group,
Among the
me
siblings.
and Rahman and our 2 sisters.
Okay.
The special group for discussing things about debate. So like
It's not fair. Okay.
yeah. So my sister, I have 2 sisters. One is teaching in Bangi, and one was teaching in Penang. Currently doing her PhD. So the one in Penang, she was a trainer for Al-Masyur Perempuan, Al-Masyur Islamic girls' schools.
Yeah.
And the one in Bangi is also trainer, debate coach. So like if we have debate, like we'll consult them. Okay, for this case, do you have facts? Like do you have any argument to support our case for this topic? And so this is our like some of our activities. And also in home, for example, discussions like we used to discuss with our mom and dads on certain religious issues. Like my mom sometimes consult us, I have to leave off on this topic for my students. Do you have some ideas for me to deliver? Like when we have questions from a friend that we can't answer, when we go to our mom and okay, do you have answer for this?
Seriously?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, like someone
In a good way, I'm saying that,
sometimes
yeah.
sometimes she consults us, and sometimes we consult her because of her experience, and yeah. So this is one of the, and with our brothers, of course. Like I think our mentor, we grew up watching him
Hi, brother.
watching him winning the national Pidato competition.
Oh,
Yeah, like at that time I was 6 or 5. I went to the hall where he won, man, and I don't understand anything at that time, of course. And my so that's some of the details that I can share. with
what
you.
is or who is your biggest influencer? I mean, it could be who triggered you in debating or along the journey now. It could be someone from your family or currently.
Mainly it's our parents, of course. Parents is we all agree that parents have always been some of the most influenced people in our life. But
Yeah.
besides our parents, I have to say that it's our what eldest brother, because like we said, the first in the family of always show the path, show the path for everyone behind him. So of course he have shown the path, so we have see the path and we followed him. So I think if he's the one that
The same brother
besides,
you said.
Yeah,
So when
you were
6 years
We
old.
only have one brother. So
Okay.
he's the
Yeah.
All right. I didn't do the maths.
Okay.
like both of us, we represent UIA,
Mm.
and my 2 sisters is the one that I mentioned.
Yeah.
So they both of them represent the same team, which is the teacher debating competition between teachers all over Malaysia. So both of them was a representative of P9 teachers debating team.
How about you? You have anyone outside the family you look up to, or it's just in
No,
the
it's
family?
mainly inside the family,
Mainly,
internal thing.
Yeah.
you have 1 or 2 names like for me from Penang, from Al-Mashhur Laki.
Name it.
So we have
Name him.
we have Salman Ali,
Alumni
Okay.
of
Oh,
IIUM.
yes.
alumni of Al-Mashhur Laki, our school,
And also
alumni
IIUM.
of IUM. So we have heard of Salman and debate since Al-Mashhur, and went to IUM. Oh, he's again. Okay, Salman again. Okay, and then we went to Qatar. We met him, have some talk with him. Like, he's actually one of a good example of debater. Like, he debate in competitive debates,
Mm.
and he debate in his field, in Quran and Sunnah, and
Yeah.
so like he's a real one actually.
So it's right for me to say that one, you have someone who inspired you, who is very close to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very important element.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
second, also the environment of discussing constantly. So not only you have debate club where you train, but back home. No, it's not not fair to other people, but it's very important for family or even having siblings
Yep. Sure.
to something like that, debating, bringing you closer together.
Yeah.
Although it's like arguing, but yeah.
When you're back with your family, then know when to talk and know when not to talk. That's the most important. Like, if you have 7 debaters in family and
Yeah.
all of us like, it's not gonna work.
Yes. So inshallah, we'll come back to IIUM Brilliance after this with more interesting questions. Welcome back to IIUM Brilliance. We're having like conversation, so join us back again. And like we started this conversation saying that you have trainings, and even after going international level, after this you also still have trainings. How does, one is from the perspective of time that it consumes, but how does your academic studies are affected by debating? I mean, does it help? How does it help?
Especially when we are in Islamic studies. So Arabic debate of course helps a lot in our studies because Arabic is a medium of teaching. So and our studies, we specialize in fiqh and usul. So deals a lot with the text and also deals a lot with the discussions of the scholars. So of course the language that we benefit from the debate itself helps us a lot in understanding when we read the text, and also in engaging in classes because this is very obvious when we say that I'm not referring to myself, I'm referring to other Arabic debaters, that we can see the difference is very clear in terms that they are able to participate more in classes, and also they are able to understand more because of their vocabularies first, of course. Vocabularies is very important in understanding, second languages and third language. So in terms of that, of course it helps a lot.
Vocabulary.
That point itself helps a lot in your study.
How about you, Rahim?
I think the same point, but you have mentioned about how does it affect. So affect from a negative or positive way?
It could be both.
Okay, so Rahman talked about the positive way, but of course we talk about time. Of course, it consumes time, especially when it is during the competition. Like in Qatar, we were out like for a week. The most important thing is don't leave it all to your classmates and don't ignore everything that they are discussing regarding your assignments. Like, of course, I have my sense of guilt when I leave them, but alhamdulillah, they understood me, and I show my best to compliment them in all the way that I could. So to participate, to show effort, even if you're not there, is something necessary with that type of schedule, of course.
For me personally, sometimes when I enjoy doing something, I would be carried away by it, that I cannot think of other things but to do that. So do you have any particular things that perhaps you tell to yourself, or you have any system? I'm not sure, Google Calendar. It could be, how do you just to balance between your debating, your organizational work, and your studies? Maybe two things you do. You
that
also
is
VP, right?
that is quite a challenge. I would say that is quite a challenge. Basically, to make everything in balance is very hard. And that is the point that distinguish bright students and also mediocre students. So if I'm not referring to myself, of course, but I'm trying. I'm challenging myself. Because maybe, like you said, calendar. Of course, calendar. But generally speaking, you will have to know when to stop. You have to know what is the barrier between all those things. Like, for example, you have to say no when, for example, when you have debate classes like twice every week. And you know you have assignment coming up soon, so you will have to say no at certain level.
Learning to say no.
Because, like you said, we have passion at the things that we do, but also to make everything in balance, you'll have to know where to put the barrier between each of the activities.
You're saying we have to know our limits.
Know our limits.
To ourselves.
Knowing the limits is one of the elements that you have to consider in putting the barriers. Of course, the weight of each activities is also one of the elements to consider, because like you don't want to leave out your studies just because you are participating in debate or you are organizing some programs, right? So the weight of and the importance of each program is one of the most important things to consider.
To be proportionate
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it comes to things. How about you?
Yeah, the same thing. I mean, something that is important besides jotting it down in calendar or your notebook is to keep that in mind. So you must have that in mind when you're doing debates. Like, I don't have problem with uh, reminding myself of these assignments regardless of that schedule that we have. So like even when you were in Qatar, if you have if we have free time, you have to open our WhatsApp group and our assignment groups and just say something at least.
Yeah.
Say something to tell you that I'm with you, although I'm here. So that is that helps a lot. At least they know that okay, you don't leave us
Yeah.
without us. Yeah.
We don't know how the future would unfold, but do you see yourself in the near future, like as an academician or a politician, or it doesn't have to be one specific answer,
Yeah.
but where is your tendency going there? Because knowing things that are happening around the world, I believe.
I hope
Yeah.
to be in the academia,
Okay.
inshallah, and even I've applied for my master degree, alhamdulillah, and that's my way. I think
Okay.
that's my way forward.
Yes.
Same.
Political, I'm not sure of that.
It's
Depends on your definition of politics.
Mm.
Firstly, to go with parties, I don't see myself going that way. That as a person who concerned about what's going around you,
Yeah.
including our political issues, of course.
because academicians also contribute in the development of our country. I mean, we
Yeah.
don't have to be directly involved in politics,
Yeah.
but when academicians speak up, who do you look up to when it comes to in the academia world?
In the academia world,
Yes. Do you have anyone you look up to?
I would say Dr. Bakar, of course. I
Oh, yeah.
think all of us admire him as an academician.
In what way?
In what way? In his prominence in both traditional, the classical, and also the modern discourse of his field,
Yeah.
the fiqh or the sharia. He's able to grasp on the classical text and the classical discussions and discourse, and of course the modern one. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there are many doctors, but that is the aspect that you liked about him.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you? You have anyone particular person?
Sorry, me.
Yes.
I don't have a particular person or specific person that I would name. I have multiple names. So I don't have a specific person that I look up to personally, but I'll take some of the sides from each of the persons that I admire.
So
That's
like-
how my approach.
Yeah. So what I get from this discussion is that one, we have to learn to say no, which I have to learn also. Knowing of barriers is
Yeah.
very important,
Yeah.
as well as appreciating the times in between to attend to our academic studies. So
Mhm.
inshallah, we'll come back with next questions in the future. So please stay tuned. Welcome back to IIUM Brilliance, where we explore secrets to unlock potentials. I know for a fact that when someone experiences something, it's different from just looking or seeing it. And you guys have been in debating, I would say, from childhood, right?
No.
So,
no, of
just
course not.
kidding. Yeah. So,
High school.
high school.
Yeah.
We were on the same team.
Whoa.
But back then it was
Malay debating?
Yeah,
Oh.
Malay debating.
Oh, patut. Okay. Sorry for the Malay language. So, can you share with us, like, 2 ways the world of debating has changed you as a person? Can you go first?
Okay, I was thinking about this when you told me in advance this question. Like, there are so many ways, but to conclude it, 2 ways is one, it changed my attitude in dealing with my surroundings,
Yeah.
in what I hear, in what I see, in what I watch. So, of course, it has never been the same. And another one is how I deal with myself, because someone when like some people when they talk about critical thinking,
Yeah.
they talk about being critical to everything around you except yourself. So this is a problem.
Yeah.
So like for me, what I do is sometimes I even scrutinize my own self, my own opinion on something. I keep challenging my previous opinion or my current opinion, because as Rahman said just now, critical thinking and debating is not the main goal. The
Yeah.
main goal is to enhance yourself, to improve yourself towards truth or towards the betterment of yourself.
Yeah.
So like I criticized myself a lot. I allow like some of my friends to criticize my view on something, and I even might criticize my, like for example, my opinion that I support what Dr. Mahathir did on the banning of Israeli athletes.
Okay.
I question myself, and hampir-hampir
Like almost.
I almost agree with this the opinion that we shouldn't ban them, because I criticize myself on that. But then I found my own justification to support that. So like this is how I live,
Yeah.
and this is how I view myself. I deal with myself and also others. Yeah.
So the first one, it makes you be critical, and then further to be critical to yourself.
Yeah, towards others and towards myself also. Yeah.
And the second one?
Yeah, that's the second one.
That's the second.
How I deal
Okay.
with myself and my stance, my
Mm.
opinions, my decisions.
I see.
Yeah, so that's how it helps me.
How about you, Rahman?
I think the first one is debating helps shape me to become a more, what do we call, a detailed person, or how do we say, meticulous person. I mean, like you look into details and you try to think about the very detail of things, because the dangers of thinking really is in the simplicity of it. Because the moment you start to think simplistically,
Yeah.
that is where you will get into dangers in thinking. You're thinking that you're thinking correctly, but you're thinking wrong. So debating helps to build, to shape me in order to be a very detailed, in everything that I do,
Yeah.
in everything. Of course, we are still trying to get to that point, but debating helps to bring in that perspective in me, directly or indirectly, because when we're practicing debate,
Yeah.
outside debating, we're bringing actually the values outside debating. So actually when we look at things, when we analyze, for example, news, for example, so we will never look at the news, or we will never analyze the news the same thing like when we don't join debate, for example.
I see.
So the skills that we use in debating, the same skill that we're going to use in our life. Because like Rahim said just now, debating is like when we practice it, it becomes habit
Yeah.
in us. So basically that's how the main way that debates help me to shape my my worldview basically. Yeah.
So the first one, it makes you become a precise person as well.
Yeah.
How about the second one? Do you have?
The second I would say is because it's relates with my education, I would say, because like the point that we've mentioned earlier, because me myself in Islamic studies,
Yeah.
I use a lot what I've learned in debate in studies. For example, in analyzing views, for example, you have to think, and you have to think very critically. So that is how, because I consider education as something important.
Yeah.
So I think the main contribution, the second contribution from debating is in my study.
Can you share your 3 books which you think everyone must read? Because this is one question that we ask all of our guests here. And we would like to know.
For me, I think it's the hardest question tonight. I will share 3 books. Some
Yeah.
of it is quite general, and some of it is related to my field, but considered as introductory books. So the first one is ثقافة الداعية. ثقافة الداعية means the knowledge that should be equipped by da'i. Written by Sheikh Qaradawi, Yusuf al-Qaradawi, al-Alama. So before joining CFS,
Yeah.
I went to the Mufti of Perlis, Temaza, and I asked him personally what book you recommend me to read. So he mentioned this book, and I read it at the beginning of CFS. And that's the first one.
Yeah.
So in this book, Dr. Sheikh Qaradawi listed down 6 knowledge that should be acquired by a da'i to be a prominent one in that field. So the second one is in the footsteps of the Prophet,
Okay.
by Tariq Ramadan. In certain ways, it has brought me different paradigms.
Yeah.
Shifted when reading this
Footsteps of
book.
Prophet.
How I view the Prophet, how I view the principles, how I view the nature, how I view the revelation. So this book is quite general and,
Yeah.
and of course great. And the third one is specifically related to my field, I think. It is called Raf'ul Malam an A'immatil A'lam. So this book was written by Shaykhul Islam Ibn Taymiyyah.
Yeah.
Okay, this book is significant to me because this is the first book that I read that helped me in understanding the differences of opinions among the scholars. And so what are the basis of these differences? I think it is a small book, but I think enough to give us a general idea on what is actually happening behind these arguments and behind these differences.
That's great.
Yeah.
You should share yours, Rahman. Yes.
Me myself, I would consider I'm not cover to cover reader. Yeah. So I just I love to read related topics from each books. So I can just share some of the authors because to suggest books also the genres are very wide.
Yeah.
So we'll have to be specific lah in order to suggest. But some of the writers that I read and I can recommend,
Yes.
read Al-Ghazali a lot
Yes.
because
I
Al-Ghazali
second
is
that.
very I have a very Al-Ghazali is very close to my heart because he wrote very very detailed about things that is very important.
Al-Ghazali.
Yeah.
Yes.
Read Al-Mustasfa.
Yes.
Read the current one is read Ali Jum'ah.
Yes.
Some of my favorite writers.
Yes, inshallah.
And
That's very great.
yeah.
Thank you for
Okay.
sharing with us.
Sure.
So, thank you so much for your time. Do follow us. Follow all of them. They have like more followers than I do. Follow us, IIUM TV on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And also we have Isra Family Week. It's a whole week filled with many programs. So follow the social media of Isra IIUM as well. And we are very happy to have our guests today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much as well for all the knowledge, and see you in the next episode.